Welcome back everybody, welcome back to 9.22's test server. I had some time off today, I had a couple hours free time and I decided to use that time to record some gameplay action for you, to get the preview episodes up and running about those new Soviet Russian vehicles. We have a lot of vehicles to cover, you are going to see a lot of them in action in the near future. I at least try to cover every single tank, every single new tank. I do not know how tier 8 matchmaking is going to be, if I am able to get some tier 8 battles going as well, but we'll see. And now this time I had to do the armor profile test a little bit differently because tanks.gg page is not up to date with 9.22's test server at the moment and I wasn't able to show you 3D profile or 3D models about the vehicle. So I had to do the armor test manually for every single vehicle. And what I found out about one tank, about today's hero, which is Object 257, is interesting, very interesting to say the least, if not stupid or broken. Let me just show it to you guys, you are going to be the judge. And doesn't it feel a bit weird that I'm going to test out tier 9 heavy tank's armor in a tier 10 medium tank, Object 430U with 252mm of penetration. First of all, just take a look at his armor shape, like Object 907. But a tier 9 heavy tank. So this shape is actually the biggest problem. First of all, lower plate is going to be a penetration. Upper plate with 252 AP round is 50-50. My first shot goes in, but my second shot to the other side does not go in with 252 penetration and AP round. But I am going to test out his frontal armor with the 62A as well, that has even more penetration but APCR rounds. For some reason this tank loves APCR rounds because APCR doesn't go through it as easily. Those commander hatches are a weak spot, but where I just fired, this is not the part of the commander hatch, so please do not fire that. This is not a weak spot. Turret frontally is amazing, but turret roof is penetrable. It has really weak turret roof armor. You are going to see that a little bit later because I didn't want to waste HP, this tank's HP, while I was testing it out. But now, this is the most ridiculous thing about this vehicle. In close range, tracking and dealing damage with the same shot, shooting anywhere into the side, is almost not possible. At first I was super mad about that, and then suddenly I found out you have to give it a little bit more distance to t-value the angle of the hull. And by the way, that was auto-aim, and really do not try to auto-aim because that side area that side area is spaced armor and you are not able to reliably penetrate it, as you are going to see soon. That shot went right through the tracks and the penetration. Let's move on. Let's take a look at that shot, guys. This is actually ridiculous. Yet another penetration and I tracked him. I tracked the other side. I mean, how the fuck is that even possible? What is going on with this vehicle? I shoot the left side of the vehicle. It was a penetration. I did damage and I track the other side, shooting in the middle of the hull. And now I was trying to penetrate the exact same position in close range that I was able to penetrate before, this time nothing. So this vehicle in close range is borderline broken. Giving it some distance, as you can see, a penetration, tracking and damage with the same shot. At first I was super mad when I didn't know about that distance gap. At first I was testing out in close range like I'm doing at the moment. By the way, take a look at that shot. 252 penetration, full green marker, and boom, penetration. Thank you, commander. We did no damage whatsoever, and we did damage with that shot. Go figure. But his armor is confirmed, the trolliest armor in this game, in my opinion. I simply cannot understand it. I cannot explain it. I cannot explain what is going on with this vehicle and with its armor. Sometimes I'm able to penetrate stuff, full green stuff, sometimes no penetration, or penetration but no damage done. And from the distance, as you are going to see, penetration after penetration, and I keep that guy tracked. So you are able to damage it and track it that way, but in close range fights this is simply not going to happen. Or if you did, consider yourself being extremely lucky. Or maybe you were firing it with 183 and 310 millimeters of penetration. Once again, like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Let's fast forward a little bit. Let's do some more testy. Let's give it some more distance, trying to, under this angle, trying to penetrate it and track it with the same shot. This time it worked. Beautiful. As I said, just give it a bit more range. And after some testing, I can say that lower AP penetration round works better than higher penetration APCR round versus this vehicle. But as you can see, I am testing this tank out versus top-notch Tier 10 medium tank. Object 430U. And T62A is coming up next. The biggest problem about this tank is that it is Tier 9. It can see Tier 7s and Tier 8s. And Tier 9s, other Tier 9s as well, that do not have that much penetration, or that do not have that good DPM. Most of the times, this tank is going to eat one shell. Let's say you would like to circle this tank to death. You have to fire at the tracks. You have no chance whatsoever in close range to deal damage and tracking at the same time. So one shell wasted. Let's say this guy uses a repair kit. Once again, you have to waste yet another shot into the tracks. But at the same time, this guy is able to fire as well, 2 times. 10-second reload on Object 252 with my equipment. I do not have Brothers in Arms as well, by the way. And I'm not using improved equipment units. And side armor once again, so troll. So the biggest problem about this vehicle is going to be close range fights. Close range brawls. City fights. This vehicle in city fights, you can bloody hell peek every single corner sideways. They shoot, oh, they see your tracks, they shoot your tracks. Boom, boy. No damage done, only tracking. I have repair kit. Now, what are you going to do? This tank in face hugging position as well. 350 frontal turret armor. Quite decent when you are face hugging and they cannot see your roof. Over here I was testing that range theory. As you saw, I took a lot of shots from 40 meters, 45 meters, no penetration, and when I moved back to the 50 meter mark, shooting the exact same spot, a penetration. Voila. So, Object 257's armor for you. The trolliest armor in this game. As I said, just imagine this vehicle versus Tier 9s versus Tier 8s. And of course versus Tier 7s as well. Yeah, but some other statistics about this vehicle. I am not using Brothers in Arms crew, vertical stabs, tank gun rammer, ventilation and food. I'm not using those premium equipment units as well, because I would say around 95% of you guys are not able to run a Tier 9 vehicle with improved equipment units anyway, because usually people use those improved equipment units on Tier 10. And they really do not want to take them off because it actually costs points. So quickly before one live gameplay action, let's go over vehicle stats as well for you. Firepower 440 alpha damage, 248 millimeters of penetration with APCR rounds, and premium heat gives you 340 millimeters of penetration. Reload time with my equipment, with my loadout, 10.5 seconds. Turret reverse speed close to 29 degrees. Gun depression, as expected, nothing special, -5 and 15 degrees of gun elevation. Aiming time is kinda meh, 2.6 seconds, average at the best if I'm going to polite. If I'm polite over here. Accuracy 0.36, Russian Turpis gun, it is actually 0.1 if you shout Russia. DPM 2.5k. So firepower stats for Tier 9 are actually kinda decent, kinda average. Let's put it like that, nothing special. Survivability, as we figured out, is super trollish, RNG dependent, and it depends on many other factors. I do not know what those factors are, some Russian things most likely. But hit points 1900, hull armor values 130, 140 and 70 millimeters in the rear. So you can side scrape with this vehicle, but not too much, because you are going to make your frontal plate super bad. Lower plate is a penetration as well, but from the side simply aim towards that part to get some penetrations, because all the rest of the things are RNG dependent. And side turret 240. armor value. Frontal turret 350, so do not even try to penetrate that frontal turret unless you can see the roof. Yes guys, this vehicle has that roof problem. You can easily penetrate this roof armor and tiny commander hatches as well. Mobility 55.8 tons heavy tank with my loadout. Engine power 850 horsepower engine, power to weight ratio not bad actually, but it doesn't feel that good. It doesn't feel 15 horsepower per ton specific power. So I guess soft stats, terrain resistance numbers are pretty bad. I'm afraid. Top speed 50 and reverse speed 15. Tank reverse speed is actually quite awesome. 44.56 degrees per second. Concealment, this is a heavy tank, let's move on. And I'm not using coated optics, I don't know, I just wanted to test this vehicle out with ventilation, but coated optics gives you more view range. What is this standard view range? 390. So with my equipment loadout 424. And this is Object 257 on paper. Okay, let's test this vehicle out in one live battle as well. And as I expected, yeah, just look at the matchmaking. A lot of 257s, 705, and light tanks. At least no artilleries. But as expected, people are testing out new vehicles. So I do not know how this battle goes. Hopefully we are able to do at least something. On the enemy side here is E75, so I can test this vehicle out versus tanks that we already have in this game. And that guy almost effed up. Is he still going to climb? Oh my god, ooh, that scared me, that scared me. I tried to be pre-fire, but with APCR ammunition, with APCR as a stock ammunition, standard ammunition, you do not have to lead that much actually. I might be able to catch that 430. And boom. Almost. Almost. I have been spotted, but at the moment that does not matter. There should not be any tanks that are able to penetrate me. Other angle like that. Frontally. Well, maybe with premium rounds, of course, but you know. Into the side that goes. Ooh, that penetration. This is actually 50-50, as we just learned. If you're going through or not. And if that guy would have used the heat, that would have been a bounce actually. 430, so old tier 10. Old tier 10, new tier 9. They seem to be kind of crowded over there. Oh, roof! I was able to see the roof. Roof is a weak spot, overmatchable. Nice. 2-0. Anything else? Doesn't seem like it. 263, tier 10. DD, oh sorry, old tier 10, new tier 9 DD is sniping from the distance. Let's test the armor on that bad boy out. Ooh, I can see a lot of green. But I did hit the only part that I cannot penetrate. And now this guy's invisible. I messed up. I should have gone for the lower plate. Oh, turret, and boom. Let's make it count. Let's aim in. Under angle like this, is there any way, any ways at all, how I'm able to penetrate 257 with this gun? Well, actually, I might have been able to penetrate that frontal plate under angle like this. But we learn from our mistakes. 263. Come on, fire. Get spotted. I have been spotted by that 257. Come on. I do not want to move in because of that 263. But can he see me? Fuck it. Fuck it. D10 hopefully is going to follow up. tracks. Beautiful. And bounced. And D10 followed up. Perfect. Good team play. Good team player, D10. 263 has been spotted once again. I actually might be able to penetrate that guy under angle like this into the back, but nope. Yep, this is a penetration, and this guy did hit my tracks. No penetration under angle like this. So the upper plate is a penetration for me. Using regular rounds over here. 263 has been destroyed. That guy has been destroyed. And this is going to be 50-50. Ooh, he just turned after I fired. He just turned. Well, this game is in the bag already, so it really doesn't matter. And 15-3 victory. Welcome to the test server. Well, actually, on live server, we are getting battles like this as well. 15-2 victory was my previous battle with T110E3, for example, from the Interesting Mods episode. But, yeah, up to you to decide if this tank with this hull is a little bit too much or not. Is it a little bit too much or not? All the rest of the things on this vehicle kinda average, decent, I can say. TPM, not bad. Turret is really strong, as I said, 350, 240, 100, but it has that overmatchable roof. That, in Wargaming's opinion, is going to be a balancing factor, most likely. But let me know what you think about this tank in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed, I hope it was informative and all that, and stay tuned for more 920 action, because we have a lot of interesting vehicles to cover. Yeah, see you soon, bye.